Hello friends, welcome back. For those who are just tuning in, I'm Kat. I'm a wife, a homeschool mom, and an avid reader. It is almost June, which means that it is time for another TBR. This month I am only looking at being part of one readathon, which is the Whatever You Want-a-thon hosted by Maddie from Book Browsing Blog. I'll leave a link below. One of the things with this readathon is that there are different groups and we all kind of have a fun competition between each other. I have chosen the beach readers for my team, and then with it is also a bingo board. One of the fun parts with this is you can read whatever you want. You don't have to use the prompts, but for me personally, the prompts and the challenge make it a little more fun. So I'm going to go through a few books that I'm looking at reading and what prompts that they'll cover and which prompts I still have to cover or find a book for. First off, one of the parts of it are that there are 5 non-reading prompts. These are cozy reading time, join the 48-hour readathon, guilt-free activity, join sprints, and create a personal goal. These prompts I will just fit in throughout the different times, and I will add them or mark them off as I come across them. For the first book that I'm looking at, this one is actually one that I did not get a chance to finish during May, and that's When You Trap a Tiger. This one again is a Korean folk tale. Lily and her family move in with her sick grandmother. A magical tiger straight out of Halmani's Korean folk tales arrives, prompting Lily to unravel a secret family history. So I'm looking forward to reading this one. The prompts that this follows is it has the word the, and, a, or and in the title. It is under 300 pages, just barely. I believe it's like 293 pages. But that counts. Still less than 300 pages. It was on my last month's TBR. And so there's 3 prompts. With the bingo board, when you're tracking your books, you can only use 3 bingo board prompts per book. So for this one, that will probably be my 3 that I have there. Another book that I have on my TBR for June that was also on my TBR in May that I did not finish or did not get a chance to is Kingdom of the Cursed. This follows Amelia, who is trying to avenge her sister's death. And in this book, she has to travel the 7 circles of hell. As far as prompts, I will for sure use this as continuous series and a 2021 release. Some of the other prompts that I can use is on a previous TBR. The, a, an, or and in the title. Favorite genre, which for me, I love fantasy novels. So those are the other, to get the full points for this one, I would choose probably one of those, in addition to the continuous series in 2021 release. So, and with this, you can reuse prompts, but they only count toward a bingo once. Another book that I am looking at reading in the month of June for WhateverAthon is The Dark One by Nikki St. Crow. This is a dark Peter Pan retelling. This is the second book in the Vicious Lost Boys series. It says, "It wasn't until Pan and Neverland that I finally felt alive, but things are not full of magic and sunlight on the island. There's something darker and more sinister haunting the forest. And worse, the Fey Queen and Captain Hook are ready to fight for control of Neverland, and they will stop at nothing to get what they want, including using the one thing Pan never thought he wanted or needed: me. I am a descendant of the Darling family, and now I belong to him and the Lost Boys." As I said, this is book 2 of the Vicious Lost Boys series. It is a dark reimagining of Peter and Wendy, and it says, "You can expect hate, kissing, fighting, bickering, and touch you and I'll unalive you vibes." For this book, I am probably going to use it as the dark romance prompt. It is also indie and self-published. And then for me, it will be probably be a different format, being an ebook. It is also under 300 pages, continuing a series, and because I will be borrowing it from Kindle Unlimited, I'm going to count it possibly as the recently hauled prompt. Another book that I am looking at reading during June is the Late Night Cruise Book of the Month pick, The City of Dusk, by Tara Sim. This one says, "The four realms, life, death, light, and darkness, all converge on the City of Dusk. For each realm there is a god, and for each god there is an heir. But the gods have withdrawn their favor from a once vibrant and thriving city, and without it all the realms are dying. Unwilling to stand by and watch the destruction, the four heirs, Risha, a necromancer struggling to keep the peace, Angelica, an elementalist with her eyes set on the throne, Taisha, the shadow-wielding rogue with rebellion in her heart, and Nick, a soldier who struggles to see the light, will sacrifice everything to save the city. But their defiance will cost them dearly." This one looks very much like it's going to be a political fantasy, so I will probably count it there. With it being fantasy, that also falls under my favorite genre, and it has the a and in the title. So for me, I'll probably do those, focusing more along that political fantasy, since I have several books in the other two, just to kind of help me get more prompts covered. Another book that fits into one of the prompts that I'm looking at reading this month is 2 Nights in Lisbon by Chris Pavone. This one says, "Alice Price wakes up in Lisbon alone. Her husband is gone, no warning, no note, not answering his phone. Something is wrong. She starts with hotel security, and then the police, and then the American embassy. At each confronting questions she can't fully answer. What exactly is John doing in Lisbon? Why would he drag her along on his business trip? Who would want to harm him? And why does Ariel know so little about her new, much younger husband?" This book is a thriller, which I do not read a lot of, so I'm going to count it for a less read genre. I'm also going to count it as a summer thriller. It is on Modern Mrs. Darcy's 11th summer reading guide under mysteries and thrillers. So I may be bending the rules a little bit, but I don't think I'm bending them too far as the spirit of the prompt. That just leaves the few prompts that I do not have a book for quite yet, that as I go through my month, I will probably look to fill. One of them is Last Letter, First Letter. This one, I didn't want to set my reading order down in stone, so as I go through the month, I might use this prompt just to point me in the right direction for my next book, and to help keep my momentum going. Another prompt I haven't filled is Water on the Cover, which, it being summer, that should be pretty easy to fill. One word title is one, depending on how I feel after finishing Crave, I may read the second book in that whole series is all one-word titles. Recently hauled, I kind of touched on that one, like with the dark one. A lot of the books I am going to read, I'm going to have to either borrow or buy, so almost any of them will count as recently hauled. And then the last one on my list, second to last one, I'm sorry, is Host Favorite. There's a whole list of host favorites that Maddie has put together. Some of the ones that I might read might be All Your Perfects by Colleen Hoover, or The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid, or I may even do Elantris by Brandon Sanderson, depending on where I'm sitting at time toward the on how many books I'm reading and how quickly I'm getting them done. Brandon Sanderson tends to take me a little longer, so I may not do that one, but we'll see. And then for the last one is Blank Color on the Cover, which we will jump over to screen share to do that one now. Alright, so for the random color generator, I have this app that I pulled up on my computer, and let's find a color. Red. Alright, so as far as red, I will look as I go through the month and kind of try to get a red book. It may overlap with some of the ones that I have already picked, although I don't think so. But it'll be when I pick it, it'll be one with a lot of red on the cover. And there you have it. That's kind of what I'm looking at reading this month. This is by no means set in stone. I will add more, obviously. I will take some away if I'm not really feeling the book. And we'll just see how the month goes. I am looking at reading at least 8 books this month. And hopefully I will smash that goal. But who knows? It is summer, and I do want to do some fun summer stuff as well, including hanging out in the pool. A little hard to read while in the pool, but we'll see how everything pans out at the end of the month. That's all I have for today. So leave me a comment of what you would like to read this month, what's on your TBR, and I will see you soon.